Hi, this is Dr. Susan Little.
And this is Dr. Yola Kerpenstein.
And this is the Cat Cafe podcast.
Yes.
Now, there is a problem here because when we taped the last episode of this, I said we should have coffee. It's Cat Cafe podcast. Where is the coffee?
Yeah, the coffee's
and
not here.
only you had coffee, which
Yes,
I
which
thought
was
wasn't
a
fair.
bad thing.
And here we are. Do you like coffee?
I want coffee now.
There you go. Okay,
It's
we
a
have
little
to fix
late
this.
for coffee, though.
Well,
Decaf.
decaf.
Decaf
There's
coffee.
decaf.
Yeah, I don't believe in decaf coffee.
I do.
I do.
Really? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Still coffee, and there's still some caffeine.
After
So,
dessert.
I think I'm too European, too English. So
He's too European.
Until 12 o'clock, you drink coffee, and then after that, you drink tea.
I drink tea too,
I like tea
unless
too.
you have a really
Love
nice chocolate dessert.
Cat tea.
Then you need some
podcast.
coffee. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
So who do we have here?
Who's our special guest?
Dr. Julie Churchill.
Yay! And so one of the things we always ask our special guests is so you're a veterinarian, obviously, but you are a special kind of veterinarian. So we always ask our guests to explain, like, what kind of veterinarian are they and how did you do that?
And we have two rules.
Oh,
the
yes.
first rule is no D words.
Okay.
And the second rule is no difficult words.
No
Sure.
fancy words.
Fancy words
I
need to
don't
be
do
explained.
fancy words. Too many
No
fancy
fancy
words.
words.
But I am a very weird specialist because there aren't many of us. I'm a veterinary nutritionist, and most people don't know what that is.
Okay. So
What
what
is
is
that?
it?
Because in human medicine, there is no such thing.
Is that right?
Is that true?
There are dietitians who are delightful people who will do much of what people like I do. So I am a veterinarian, and then I did a residency, so after school training in nutrition.
And how long was your residency?
It was 3 years.
Yeah. So that's
Plus
3 years of extra
3
training.
years of nutrition.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
6 years, really.
And so does that mean you know about all nutrition for all animals?
I could, but I chose to specialize in cats and other small
Other
creatures.
small
Yes, very
And
well.
the other companion
Good save,
animals.
good
Okay.
save.
Okay.
And so what does a nutritionist
Yeah, what do you do every
all
day?
So I look for ways to make sure that every patient is receiving all of their nutritional requirements. My passion is about so how can nutrition not be the cornerstone of health? Something you do each and every day, multiple times a day,
That you have to do.
has to impact how you feel, how you work, how you are. And so when we feed individuals well, there should be no need for medicine. Right?
That's a good
Ooh,
point.
I like that.
That's a good point.
There's an Ayurvedic quote which I'm blanking on at the moment, but when the food is right, there is no need. So I'll
I also there's another quote that says, "Let food be thy medicine."
Yes.
Who said that?
that
I will
is
Google it. Oh wait, can we ask Siri?
Socrates.
It's my
Oh,
favorite.
yeah.
Can
Oh,
I
let's
ask Siri?
I think
Okay.
so.
Okay, if it's Socrates, I get points.
Okay. Hey Siri. Who said, "Let food be thy medicine"?
Okay, I found this on the web first. Said, "Let food be my medicine."
Uh-oh.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Hippocrates.
Hippocrates. Darn,
Hippocrates.
Almost there. Yeah,
Close.
of course. Yes. It's Greek.
It's one or the
It's
other.
Greek.
It is.
You know, we always go back to the Greek.
It is.
And so we have a little bit of an issue in our D and cat population that has to
Right.
do with nutrition.
Well, I think nutrition is the cornerstone of health, and so it starts from birth, feeding the parents well, feeding the kittens well. There's so much that we can do about that, and then learning about proactive, preventive life stage nutrition.
Ooh, that's a mouthful.
It is, but they're not
Proactive.
big
What
words.
does that mean?
Preventive.
So I'm about not just having pets thrive, not just survive, but to thrive.
Oh,
And
that's
so our needs change throughout life.
Yep.
And so what we know is that as we're young and growing, we have special needs.
Yeah.
Cats in and of themselves have extra special needs. When they get spayed or neutered, we know that that changes their metabolism and they need a diet change at that point. And then once they're adults, then they're probably okay for a little while till they enter their senior years, and they may need changes at that time. But as we get into our senior years, our risk for other diseases increases,
Yeah.
and nutrition plays a role in so many other, as a part, or sometimes all, of the healthcare plan.
Yep. So that's a lot of touch points in the
Yes.
life of a pet.
Right.
When nutrition is really key.
Yep.
Right.
And if everybody would pay a lot of attention to that, we would not have the crisis that we have right now.
No.
Yeah. So what is the number one nutrition problem for cats in most countries?
Unfortunately, it's unhealthy weight gain,
yeah.
leading to overweight and obese cats.
Yeah.
In this country, it's 60% of the cats are overweight or obese.
Wow. That's
What's the
shocking.
difference between overweight and obese?
So I'm working on a universal standard, but it follows in line with humans.
Okay.
30% above their healthy lean weight is obese.
30. If you are 30%
30%
above your healthy weight, you
Your
are
young adult weight. Yep.
So
Okay.
you're, from your lean weight until 30, it's overweight, and above
Yep.
30, it is obese.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. So at
That
the
makes sense.
30% point,
Boom.
that's the cut line for obesity.
That's right.
Gotcha.
So if you use a body condition score, which
Yeah.
all pet parents and clients can learn to do if you don't know how to do it. So it's a scale of 1 to 9.
Yeah.
Healthy is 5.
Yep.
And so when they are...
9 is too much.
9 is top of the line, and that is obese. So 8 and 9 are obese.
Right.
Out of that.
And then
We'll put
we
a
know
link
a lot
to
of cats that
Yeah.
are above 9 even.
We do.
So
Yeah.
it's
We
super
do.
obese.
Yep.
And so why do we care?
We care a lot because what we know is that being overweight in every species we've ever studied shortens lives. We know, so that fountain of youth, we can we can prolong lifespan, but not just prolong, it's that thriving part. There are many health risks associated with being overweight or obese. For cats, for sure, we know that they're at risk for diabetes, so needing insulin shots.
Yeah.
We know that extra body fat secretes over 100 different compounds that are inflammatory chemicals. So if you can think of all these chronic long-term diseases, it's like gas on a fire, adding more inflammation.
Like
They
arthritis
also-
is a good
Arthritis
example.
is a
They
big one.
say it's the forgotten endocrine organ.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So what's endocrine
I
mean,
know,
Dr.
that's a big
Yola?
word.
That's a big word.
So endocrine has to do with glands, and glands often produce hormones, and hormones either stimulate or decrease certain activities.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they have physiologic effects. And we
How
used
about
to
that
think
one?
fat did like nothing, but now
just-
we know it's like
yeah.
it's really active.
It's not just
And not in a good way.
It's not just carrying around extra weight, which you can imagine that would hurt your joints, but it's stress on the heart. It causes breathing problems. It causes a lot of arthritis and pain. I
Yeah.
think we underestimate cats are such good hiders, but it's painful.
Yeah.
And I often think that, you see, especially a little bit older cat, maybe he's like 7 or 8 years of age or older, they get a lot of arthritis, and
Yeah.
then they're overweight, and most people don't look at that cat and say, oh, I bet he's in pain, because it's hard to tell.
They just stop moving, so they
Yeah.
just think they're lazy, or they're getting older. They just sleep a lot.
But I think people also think it's cute.
To be fat.
Because babies are often a little porky, and so it's very cute. So we kind of reflect that back
We do.
to the cat, and so I've seen these pillowcases
That's
that
right.
everybody says, "Oh, it's such a cute cat, and
know,
so sweet."
I know.
Doesn't move, but
And I see a diseased cat. So
Yeah.
that's my other pitch. Obesity is a disease.
But we also talked about, when we were talking about the veterinary healthcare teams per podcast, about that you kind of need to be ready to hear this story. Tell us a little bit about it and explain that to a client.
Well, really, what I do is I start at kittenhood. Right? So we start talking that your cat's needs are going to change. I can't eat the way I ate when I was 20. Why would we expect that our cats can? Right?
That's a good point.
We just don't. And the other part is that cats do a great job when they're out doing their job outside, catching their dinner, because they're meant to be hunters, and when they're outside catching their food, they manage their weight beautifully. We bring them inside for lots of reasons to be safer, and we upset their ability to regulate their own body weight. And we feed them healthy but really calorie-rich food. And so that starts.
And we just leave it in the bowl as much as possible.
And we just don't know what healthy looks like and feels like. So that conversation should happen with your veterinarian early and often about, or your healthcare team, like this is what healthy feels like. So if you don't know how to do a body condition score, everyone can do it. And then just like we do health checks, heartworm prevention, all of those things, monthly. Do a body condition score monthly as part of your regular check.
Yeah. And, in a lot of cats, their weight and body condition score around a year of age, hopefully, is pretty normal. Used to be reliable. Now some of them are already overweight or obese, aren't they?
We think that pediatric obesity is about 20% now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And where can
shocking.
clients or owners find information on body condition scoring?
So you could probably put some links.
We will. We'll put some links to body condition scoring and some pictures about how you do it.
Yeah.
Because I think it's
You even
so
made
easy.
a video.
I did
on
make
how
a
to do
video.
it. It's very lovely.
Yeah, I did make a video. So we'll put some
maybe
links
we
in.
should put the video on there.
Yeah.
We'll
that's
put
a
some
good
links
idea.
in.
So,
because it's something veterinarians learn, but
That's right.
pet owners absolutely can do this.
Right, and I think we as veterinary team members forget to teach pet owners. We see them very infrequently. They see them every day, and it's literally just petting.
And it's difficult to see a slow, gradual change.
Right, so that once a month on your calendar, just like all our health checks we're supposed to check, once a month, do a body condition score with intention.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
And so why is weighing not enough?
Well, because there are cats that, in Minnesota is where I'm from at the moment, and so every cat is Maine Coon.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not really.
They look like Maine Coons.
Not really.
Yeah.
But that's what what I hear. So there are those little petite cats where they're 6 to 8 pounds and they're healthy adults.
That's normal.
Oh, wow.
And then there are normal, very large bone cats that are 13, 14 pounds. But beyond that, it's the rare cat that isn't overweight, above 14 pounds.
So there's a bit of a range there, and body condition scoring can help you tell.
So if you just think you're the owner of a cat from 8 to 14 pounds, that's a huge range.
Yeah.
How would you know? And your scale at home is not sensitive to pick up that.
Yeah.
So to weigh a cat, what scale would you use?
I use a baby scale.
Yeah.
So
It's a good investment.
it
They're
is.
more
Buy
sensitive
one on
than just the
line
ones
and
that you stand on.
Yeah, and they'll detect those smaller changes that we see in
Right.
in pets, right? Yeah.
And so the one thing I did often with my owners, that I showed them the body condition score, and then I asked them to point out where the cat was on the body condition score.
Yeah.
And I do have to say that people most of the time underestimate it.
Yes, and the one thing that I'll argue with you just a tiny bit is that it's not a visual.
Yeah.
It's a feel.
Yeah.
You know, I
You
understand.
have to use. So you're right. But so watch your video.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a feeling. And you're right. There's actually a study that shows that there's a fat gap, if you will,
A fat
that
gap.
that owners underestimate by 1 to 2 scores. So that's 10 to 20% underestimating where their cats.
But it's also because we've lost the ability to know what's normal. We see so many overweight pets.
60%.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
That's amazing if you think about it.
Yeah.
But it's the same trend that we see in humans.
That's right. So when we have normal pets, and that's the other thing I want to be the antidote to the S word, which I don't use. But when a pet is normal weight, what your peers, what your neighbors, even sometimes veterinarians will say, sick, skinny, starving. And they're because we don't even remember what health looks like anymore.
And now it looks skinny.
Yeah, it does. Right. And as a pet owner, that sounds terrible.
It does. Yeah. So we need to reorient ourselves.
Healthy,
What's
lean.
normal?
Healthy,
lean.
lean.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
Healthy and lean.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I
Can I
like
ask you
that.
something controversial?
Yeah.
Good. So what about people who want to make their own food for their pets?
So I always ask why.
Yeah.
What are your reasons? And I spend a fair amount of time trying, because it's 50% of my practice.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So
That's a lot.
I don't see only C's.
Yeah.
I see C's and D's.
Yeah, but
so
still.
But it is so I can help those folks.
You do that a lot, then.
I do.
Yeah,
I do a fair amount. But I always.
And that's what we normally say. So if you want to do homemade diets, go to a veterinary nutrition specialist and have them help you.
And there are a list of those on acvn.org that will help do remote consults if you don't live in an area
where you've got
one, because you probably don't.
Yeah.
But there are great studies that show if you just find a book, a recipe online, or even from a veterinarian that doesn't actually know that and didn't formulate it individually for your cat, then over 90% of those are imbalanced. They either have deficiencies, excess or toxicities, or often both.
And cats do need certain nutrients that they cannot get.
They have like a kind of a narrower range of tolerance, don't they?
They're fragile. They're just a little more fragile.
They're very specific in their nutrition needs.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't always like homemade foods because they like a part of it. They don't like the composite. Because when you put vitamins and minerals, cats will eat the meat. Yeah. But they don't always like the other things, and because they're not used to it. And cats are so opinionated; they're like toddlers. So,
I like that analogy. It's like getting your 1-year-old to eat vegetables.
Like broccoli on the plate is a foreign, an alien, and so it takes a while. It's the rare cat where I do a homemade formulation that it works.
Yeah.
And what's the risk of an all meat diet if they would only eat the
terribleness?
meat?
It's heartbreaking because again, the calcium and the phosphorus are important minerals. You don't need a lot, but you need the right amount, like Goldilocks, just right. Or their bones, because calcium is required for so many functions, the body will steal it from the bones, and the bones will crack like an eggshell. Yeah. It's excruciating and heartbreaking.
And we
painful,
see painful, and we'll see cats that will like fracture a leg just walking along the floor,
or picking them up,
or you pick them up and the leg fractures,
and they crush.
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking, and we do see it. Well-meaning people, because we know cats need high protein, we know they need meat, but they need other things too, and so it's tricky business to balance.
So it's important to emphasize that you need to feed a cat a balanced diet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know this is one of your pet peeves, that, for instance, treats are not balanced.
They are not balanced.
So
except temptations.
Temptation treats
are complete imbalance.
Really?
They are.
That is an amazing thing.
It is amazing.
So if you're feeding treats to your cat, how much is okay? Because people are going to... We feed treats.
Everyone does.
You can't say don't feed treats,
That's
right?
Everyone
What's
does.
the safe amount?
So no more than 20 calories.
20 calories.
20 calories.
So I don't want it to exceed... If you're feeding complete and balanced food, so commercial pet foods are meant to meet the unique needs of the cat, and it's all in the right balance when you feed the right amount to maintain that healthy lean.
Yeah.
And so when you're adding even chicken or all these lovely great proteins or other treats, it's protein and phosphorus but no calcium. Yeah. So you can see pretty soon even great ingredients upset the balance.
It's the balance.
I have another question. Are cats allergic to grains?
No.
I like that question.
Not. Yeah. They are not. It's such... to me, it's sad because everyone who is seeking... So there's no proven benefit from avoiding grains. Cats, we know, need high protein, but they can utilize grains or carbohydrates of any kind. Yeah. And it helps... It provides lots of nutrients.
And
Energy, B vitamins, sometimes essential oils. So when they're all mixed together in a complete and balanced recipe, it's part of the whole picture.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to avoid grains and maybe some problems.
Yeah. So what about, we see diets that have some interesting ingredients like blueberries or cranberries. So is that good?
Well, it's marketing. It's marketing. So cats...
It's not nutrition, it's marketing.
It's marketing. It's marketing. So again, depending on where they are on the ingredient list, when they're way, way, way down at the bottom, it's a whisper in the wind.
So the list of ingredients on the side of the cat food bag starts with the biggest ingredient?
The heaviest.
by weight.
By weight.
And then it goes down to...
goes down.
Okay.
Yep.
And there's
It's
some
literally a
confusion about ingredients versus nutrients.
I know. It just, again, this is where it's really, really hard for pet owners, pet parents to be able to evaluate quality of pet food. So there's some great tools. But my first information is to go to your veterinary team and ask them, because you can't assess a food looking at ingredients.
Yeah.
You just can't.
You
It's
can't.
better so to pick. There's 5,000 brands out there. And so I can't even remember them. And so it's more important to pick a really good, high quality company. And there's some standards. I don't know if you want to link it to, but basically there are criteria that I hold a company accountable for.
Yep.
That they have a board certified or PhD nutritionist, someone who studied feline nutrition and understands formulation, so that they can help monitor the formula and the production process and knows about the finished product.
And surprisingly, there are companies that make pet food that do not have somebody like that on staff.
There are.
Yeah.
There are.
Yeah.
They should have they should have their own production plant, ideally, because they have control of the production and the quality control. The really great companies have hundreds of QC quality control standards, from the ingredients before they even arrive on their property to many steps along the way. But most importantly, they're testing at the finish line.
Yep.
So they know if you cook something, you do change the nutrients, but the people that understand formulation are formulating to account for that. Yep. You're not cooking all the nutrients out
of it. Right.
They know that at the finish line, it's meeting the cat's needs at their mouth.
Yeah.
And then they are accountable. So when people like me or veterinarians call them up, I can get any bit of information that I need and able to help my patient.
And you can get help, advice.
And I have one more question. What about raw diets for cats?
I know cats like it. I'm not an advocate, because I tell people that my tolerance for risk is very low. My kids always rode in a car seat, knowing that we're not going to likely get in a wreck on the way home, but I can't live with the chances. We know that raw meat has pathogenic, harmful bacteria, just like we're supposed to cook meat for us. We know that Salmonella, E. coli, MRSA, that antibiotic-resistant bacteria, is in raw meat. And so just from a single meal, cats may look good on the outside, but number one, they groom themselves, so they're basically bathing in that bacteria, and we're petting them.
Yeah.
They can also shed bacteria in their stool.
Yeah.
And so I worry not just cats can become sick, but they sit on our laps, and I don't wash my hands every time I pet a cat. Yeah. So I'm worried too about the people in that cat's world.
But how do you prevent that then when the cat goes outside and catches a mouse?
So most cats are inside, because again, we don't want them to be killing our birds. The Audubon Society gets upset about that.
Yeah.
So,
but if they kill a mouse, it's a live mouse.
It's a fresh kill, if you will,
and it's not been through a factory.
It hasn't been incubating those bacteria, so I can't say it's no risk, but it is less risk than meat that's been sitting around and growing bacteria.
Yeah.
And mice contain grains too, huh?
They do.
A little bit.
They do. Some digested grains.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to put it. That the cat that eats a raw diet may be doing perfectly fine itself, but it may actually spread that bacteria to somebody in your home who will not cope well with it. And that's happened many times.
Babies. Or elders.
Or somebody on medication.
Immunosuppressed cancer patients.
A diabetic.
They don't walk around with labels, and so we don't know who's gonna be harmed, and the cats don't walk around, I'm going to be the one.
Exactly.
So you just can't predict.
We can talk about this
we
forever.
Could.
So
food is a great subject.
I know, I love it. So and if you have any questions as cat owners, please send us the questions.
Yeah,
and,
you can do it on Instagram at Cat Cafe Podcast.
Yes.
So you can contact us there or put it in comments, and we'll do our best to get questions answered. Maybe let us know what you'd like to hear. What other topic?
So what questions do you have for people like Dr. Julie,
That's
who is on our wonderful Cat Cafe Podcast?
Yeah.
And, very excited that you were here.
Thank
so
you.
Thank you for inviting me.
We learned a lot.
I know we did.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dr. Susan Little is a feline medicine specialist with 2 cat-only hospitals in Ottawa, Canada. She is best known as an international speaker and as the author and editor of 2 textbooks, The Cat, Clinical Medicine and Management, and August, Consultations in Feline Internal Medicine. Along with 3 cats, she also admits to owning 2 dogs, and you can follow her on social media with the handle @CatVetSusan. Dr. Yerla Kerpenstein is a diplomate of the American and European College of Veterinary Surgeons and a big cat fan. His specialties range from surgical oncology and reconstruction to minimally invasive surgery. He is the author of 2 textbooks on basic and reconstructive surgery. Did you know he was allergic to cats? Yola works currently at Hill's Pet Nutrition. You can follow him on social media with the handle @GVETSX. The opinions of this podcast are those by Dr. Susan Little and Dr. Yola Kerpenstein. Veterinary medicine is a complex profession, and often there are multiple diagnostic and therapeutic options for different disease processes. If you're a pet owner with questions, please go to your local veterinarian.
Both Dr. Susan and I sincerely thank Jake Adams for composing and performing the music.